See, I didn't want to like with Foggy. I can call it the hot pocket. It's tough. It's tough
It's
for
too
that one.
disrespectful.
Yeah, because
But
it's like,
but what's more
God
disrespectful
damn.
is who did it.
And what's up, y'all? And welcome to another episode of the For All Nerds Show. It's your boy, DJ Benhameen, aka El Diablo Abogado, here on the spaceship. And as always, I'm joined by
Tatiana King, the Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as Scroll Obsidian, Tatiana Kang, the Conqueror, T'Challa Bread, Faster the Destroyer, and Doc Aki.
There we go. And we are here to talk about Daredevil Born Again, episode 3. And it's a heavy one, folks. This is a heavy episode. That's all I can say off top. Hopefully you've already watched our episode 1 and 2 review. I know you have because the numbers are crazy. Thank you to everyone who's been enjoying these reviews. We love to see it. And, on that note, I want to shout out all the new subscribers on YouTube. Thank you to all y'all for following and subscribing on YouTube. It means the world to us. Javier Solomon Cruz, Lastra, Carlin Ray, Author Venus Knight, V-Dub, Transatlantic Bounce, Gabriella King, Elron in the Key of Life. You done messed up, Elron. Young Juan 47, Chris Jackson, Omega Jackson. I think we shouted you out before. Shaka Draper, Face of Yo. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Please hit that subscribe button and YouTube will get a shout out just like that. And you'll also be helping to support this greatness right here. The For All Nerds Show. Like I said, we're here to talk about Daredevil Born Again, episode 3. So let's get right into it. Shit's fucked up, fam. Like, I need that the meme of my man, not Walter White. What's Walter White's boy? Jesse. I need to.
He can't keep getting away with it.
Like, fam, someone asked us in the YouTube comments and they said, if I haven't seen Daredevil Born Again, if I haven't seen the first Daredevil, can I enjoy this new Born Again series? Oh. And I said, well, the showrunner says you can. And then that was before I'd seen episode 3. And then after I watched episode 3, I wanted to go back and tell them, well, it doesn't fucking matter if you've seen the original, because this one's going to break your heart. Even if you haven't seen the original. From the beginning, you're going to fall in love with the character, and then it's going to break your fucking heart in episode 3 like it did to me. Because none of us knew Hector Ayala, the White Tiger, before this series started, unless you were a comic book fan. You've never seen him in the MCU. I quickly grew to love the character. The actor playing him did a magnificent job in the 3 episodes that he was in.
And also rest in peace.
We'll get, yeah, straight up. For real. In real life, rest in peace to the actor. I don't have his name right in front of me.
Camar de los Reyes.
Thank you. Camar de los Reyes passed away from cancer last year. Fuck cancer, combat cancer as always. Sucks because delivered a commanding performance to me in these 3 episodes. And then his character caught the hot one, and I was tight, fam. I was in the group chat immediately, in the For All Nerds group chat. I was tight, y'all, immediately. And I didn't want to spoil it for the rest of the fans in there, the fam, in there. Yeah. So I was just like, yo, fam, I hate this fucking show right now. That was my response after seeing episode 3.
How much did you know of White Tiger?
I was a big fan.
Show?
Like I said, a big fan. Just because he was one of the rare Latin characters that I grew up with. He was in Power Man and Iron Fist, the comic book, it was not the biggest hit of a comic book because it had Power Man, a black dude, and I liked Iron Fist a lot as a character. I was always a big fan of that comic, so I read that, pretty heavy as a kid, even though, nobody else was for the most part. And White Tiger was in that joint. So, and he was rarely in them, but and like I've said before in earlier episodes, he just had the coolest costume. And then he had a little jade tiger, I was like, oh, that's so fly. My man got a little amulet necklace, my man rocking around with jewels on. What type of superhero?
Jewels.
you can't beat a superhero who has jewels on, So I was down for it. All that ice, I was loving it. But yeah, so I was really hyped to see him translated to the screen. And my man beats the case. puts on the suit, has the classic look at me. I'm looking fresh, looking fly. Walks out in hot ones, hot
Right.
pockets. Like,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know how they beat that case. I was sure
Yo,
that nigga was going to jail. I
me
mean,
too.
come on. This is the NYPD.
My man's
You're
rebuttal
going
was
to jail.
vicious, son. Because that was something I really enjoyed this episode, especially the court scene. Like, I remember they were talking about how this show, they were looking to make it more of a courtroom drama, and it didn't work that way. And then they revamped it, and this is the Born Again that we got now.
Right.
But watching that courtroom drama, I'm like, this is something I could get for. It was something that we
this
didn't even.
works.
We saw a little bit in She-Hulk, but that's what I was looking for from both of these. Is Matt defending superpowered, criminals or heroes
or vigilantes.
Right.
I agree with you. I like the fact that that's also his premise, right? He's defending, not to say the helpless, but defending those who need defense, right? Defending those who's down bad, who is not getting a fair shake, stuff like that, right?
Yep.
And the other part of the procedural court drama where I was concerned about, which is where like She-Hulk failed, is that I didn't want the whole thing to be centered around. I understand he's the lawyer, but I didn't want the whole thing to be centered around him being in the court. Yes, he's in court a lot. Yes, you see the courthouse, but there's other shit happening, right? Like, it's not centered to the narrative of the show. Like, yes, that's one of the places where Matt Murdock lives, but he's also fucking Daredevil, and Daredevil's about the streets. So I want to see a good balanced combination of the streets along with the court. And that's what I feel like they've done so far and are doing as they continue this series. So I think I like how they did it. I like their approach. And I think I like the approach because it's balanced to me.
Oof.
But that to say, all that.
I don't know how you got off either.
But
no, first, let's go back to that.
There's no way. There's no fucking way, bro.
And like I said, I was really enjoying the courtroom drama this episode. I thought Matt presented a great, case.
Excellent argument.
Great argument. And then my man on the stands, because it was the right thing. Because it's the right thing. And then how they had an echo. How they had an echo on that last one. I was like,
he leaned into the mic and said, because it was the right thing,
Yeah, that was great. But then my man, for the cops, for the city came back vicious on that ass. And I was like, I don't give a fuck about the right thing. My man's right. The wrong person can do the right thing sometimes. Like, this dude might be the wrong person. So I thought he was going to jail for sure. Plot armor, I guess. Just, yeah.
Right. But they played it. They still played it well because you actually touched upon something that I ended up experiencing as a viewer, right? Like you mentioned previously also, you mentioned that the way it looked in that courtroom, the way the camera, the positioning of the direction on that, like how every time they said anything about cops, you panned over to the 50-11 cops in the corner staring them down. And it's just like, say something, nigga. And then even like here, like Daredevil, Matt Murdock, he's standing there, he hears them saying, so-and-so can't testify. Like he hear them whispering their heinous acts. You know what I'm saying? Like you just see them.
The tension was rising in this episode.
The tension was rising. And I know, like you said, plot armor, he has to get free. But I was just like, I didn't think he was going to get free. I, in fact, was with his wife when they were sitting there like, he's not guilty. I said, oh my God, Jesus, he got, like, I literally felt how they felt like, nigga, it actually worked. And
same.
Listen, Matt gave on a great speech and he really defended the shit out of White Tiger, but he didn't go last. And that's what the thing, there's a thing about who gets to speak last.
Yep.
In trials, right? And in this case, it was the DA. So the DA technically had the last word. And yes, you want to see who's speaking more empathically, but also sometimes because of like a recency bias, people may just go by with the last thing they heard. And the last thing that they heard from the DA was good people do bad things too. Granted, it wasn't, now in hindsight, I'm thinking about it, it wasn't as strong an argument as Matt's. I think when I'm really thinking about it, because Matt, you know why he got the edge over the DA? When he was just like, not just regular people. Like they said, White Tiger didn't just help regular people. White Tiger helped the cops. And then it panned over the cops, and the cop was like, yeah, he helped us too. And I'm like, got him.
Yeah. Because some of them cops were definitely agreeing with it, because not every cop is corrupt. I mean, in my opinion, they are. Sorry, no shots. Yeah, no shots. But, it is what it is. But in this instance, some of those cops in the courtroom were definitely not the Punisher down cops like my man Officer Powell, bitch ass, who, yeah,
Big
I
bitch
mean,
ass.
I got to give it to him. My man is resilient because I thought he was dead.
That's another thing that should not have happened.
I
One thing,
swear to
how the
God,
fuck he alive, bro?
I thought that nigga was
How is he still alive?
dead. That nigga dropped on his head. Like, I swore I heard the snap of the neck. My man is in court, not barely bruised up. Like, Matt was popping that shit, but my man should have been a lot more, concussed. Something.
Matt folded that nigga like a crepe. There was no reason. There's no fucking way. There's no way. That's just another thing. I was like, improbable. I was like, how are you still walking?
In 4 seasons of Daredevil, that is easily Matt's easiest fight. Like, Matt struggles against everyone, and he folded both of those cops with no problem, to the point where he still had energy to scream afterwards. My man's like, ah!
Oh my God.
I don't know how they still alive. I don't know how they here to testify, but my man Powell is a tough little bastard. I'll give him that. Like, he's an asshole cop. He's a bastard, but he's tough.
Yeah. And then you mentioned testifying, like the way that Star Witness just fucking went down.
That was so
Nikki
Come
Torres,
on, fam.
like, and that's real life too. It's just like they was hyping him up for like a week. Like, hey, you could do this. Yeah. And I'm like, ain't no way. He had to run. He was about to get killed. He had to run out the fire escape. And you're hyping him up, hiding him in the fucking dry cleaning, only for him to get on fucking stand and embarrass y'all ass.
But you
embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed. Yeah, I don't get it, fam. Like, what are you going to do after that? You already went on stand. All these cops know your face. Half of them already knew your face and wanted to murder you anyway.
You can't be an informant no more. And that's another thing. You're not going to be a confidential informant no more.
You did. Either way, you are still a loose end that don't have to get wrapped up, fam. I don't know how that was a smart move.
Well, the fact that he didn't testify was enough. The fact that it actually is still smart of him, because remember the guy whispered, Nikki, I almost said Nikki Barnes, Nikki Torres can't testify. And he didn't, right?
Yeah.
And you saw them cops within that nigga. Say something, I dare you. Say something.
I still don't know. I mean, I guess, whatever.
He didn't implicate anybody. And he said, oh, I wasn't there. And he fucking dipped. And everything Matt yelled out after the fact is not permissible in court anyway. So, Objection.
Yeah.
On some Ace Phoenix attorney shit. Objection.
In the side story, I guess, to this episode, how are you feeling about
Phoenix
Mr.
Wright, Ace Attorney? I said it backwards, but y'all know what I meant.
About Mr. Wilson Fisk and Vanessa and their relationship.
Listen, it's giving Bravo Housewives drama, and I'm fucking here for it. Every goddamn week, I know I'm gonna be here for their drama, because the way that they even argue, that's not an argument. And Vanessa's so fucking smart. That's the thing. Like, yes, Wilson is smart, but Vanessa is particularly smart. And the way that she knows how to deal and handle Wilson, and the way she communicates with him, both verbally and non-verbally, and the way that she has control over him to a degree, right? Like, and the way he's just a simp. At the end of the day, Wilson Fisk is a simp for some damn Vanessa. So anything, right? Yes, he's this and that, and he's big and bad, and he's done all this stuff, whatever. At the end of the day, that nigga is Scott Summers when it comes to Vanessa, okay? That is his woman, and he will do anything for her, and she can get away with literal murder if she needed to.
Their relationship is so interesting, because I think it was said best in the first episode. It's like Vincent has this. No, I'm calling him Vincent. Wilson has this view of Vanessa that, he put that P on a pedestal. And then when the P woke up, and it's a whole woman you got to deal with. Yeah. He's like, oh, this ain't exactly what I imagined, like, this ain't the Vanessa I remember.
You think he didn't know who Vanessa was when he, like, really established that deep-seated love for her? I think he knew very well who she was, which is why they, even though it's toxic as fuck, why they could work so well together, why they are complementary to each other at the same time as being so toxic. He knew what it was when he signed up.
he knew what it was, but for years he didn't have to deal with it as a person. He had to deal with the ideal, and that's all he had to deal with. He didn't have to deal with the reality of a talking, breathing person who might disagree with him. And now he does. And
I'm trying to remember in the previous series, did we see a lot of Vanessa at all?
No, remember Vanessa was in a coma for a lot of it.
That's right.
Yeah. And then Vanessa recovers, but that's towards the end of it.
So to your point, that's making a lot more sense because she was incapacitated for a distinctly long period of time.
He was incapacitated for some time.
But also disappeared, not just incapacitated, fucking disappeared on her.
and left her to run everything.
Right.
Which was like, that's a series or a spinoff I would have loved to see, even an episode, like even
Vanessa
one-off. Yeah, Vanessa running the city while Kingpin wasn't there. That would have been, I guess,
you can see that in a flashback.
Yeah, and I guess we don't really need to see too much of it because it's like Vanessa.
You know what it was? She was a fucking G.
Yeah,
she was a fucking G. She kept the niggas in line.
Yeah,
and everything was running smooth. And now she's mad at
here come
your bitch ass. You have to be. You want to play Mayor Wilson Fisk, and now I gotta be First Lady Fisk, and I don't want none of this shit. She don't want that, and that she makes that. You could tell, even if she don't verbally say it, she makes it clear she don't. She tasted the Kingpin life. She tasted the most Chianti. She don't want that fucking 5% juice, 5% ALC juice. She don't want that shit. She don't want a wine cooler no more.
This is straight up Ghost and Tasha. Shout out to my power lovers out there. Because, and it was always straight one of the most hilarious things to me about Ghost and Tasha. When Tasha once told Ghost, I didn't marry a club owner. I married the biggest drug dealer in New York. That's what I want. She's like,
That's what I signed up for.
I'm not here for that reform shit, nigga. Yeah. I'm here for that dealing dope shit.
And that's honest.
And that's what Vanessa seems to be. Vanessa's like, I'm not here for that mayor shit. Nigga, I'm here for that running the block.
But she and I don't even want to say what I was about to say because I don't want to get ahead of myself. But like she clearly, and that's her mind. That is at the forefront of her mind. You could tell in everything she do. She's saying like, so what if I just, set up this situation, if I could launder this and do that. Like you could tell that's all she's fucking thinking about, right? She's thinking about business. And also, I also wonder because of the type of time she on, if she just bored. That's the other part. She's bored. And idle hand is devil's work, right? That's what they say. Like you said, like that's the whole problem also partly of why they're going to therapy. It's because she don't even want to be in that life. Like she don't want to go to the galas with him. She don't want to show up on the podium with him and play wifey. That shit mad boring. She want to do what she want to do, and she want to do what she knows she could do well and achieve higher heights. She's the kingpin. A queen pin, if you will.
How do you feel about Matt's therapist girl also somehow?
I still think this is Buck's fault. I still think Buck did this shit on purpose. I could maybe give him way too much credit. Buck Wilson's right-hand one.
Yeah.
What I'm saying about since he knows who Matt Murdock is, maybe he knew the connection between Matt and the therapist, and maybe he did that shit on purpose. Because at the end of the day, this lady is not the only therapist in the city. So I'm just like, why her? And I understand she's a famous therapist and she has a book and maybe she's one of the best, but she's not the only best of the best. This is New York City. So I don't know how that came about. Like I'm saying, it's like the stars just aligned. No, Buck did that shit on purpose. I could be wrong, but I'm just thinking.
Yeah, I'm holding out hope that you're right about that. Because like I said before, Buck could be their version of a character, the Arranger or the Rose. Not the Rose.
He's
Rose.
Doing some Arranger ass shit. Yeah, I don't know the character, but just his moves. Yeah. His moves is giving, I'm arranging and connecting the dots. I'm a dot connector, if you will.
There's also another one I forgot about, the Foreigner. But the Foreigner was always he was like the adversary to Kingpin more so. Oh. But he more looks like Buck. The Foreigner was like smooth, suits all the time, always fly. But he was straight up a Kingpin adversary. And then he disappeared without anyone, I think, learning his name, as far as I know. But Rose and the Ranger definitely worked for Kingpin.
Buck is snooty. And
that's why he gets off Rose. That's why he gets off Rose, like I really hope by the end of it he just pulls on the mask. That would be ill, but I'm not sure if that's the direction they're going.
Yeah.
But Rose is like, he has this ill purple mask, and then he always is, cutting up roses and stuff.
Cutting up roses?
Yeah, he's like cultivating roses.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I like it.
It's either that or the arranger. Buck is one of those two.
Yeah. And that was one of the first things you said when we started the review, just about how, Hector Ayala got free, kinda, just to get the hot pocket put in. But
see, I didn't want to, like, with Foggy, I can call it the hot pocket. It's tough. It's tough.
It's too disrespectful.
Yeah, because
but what's more disrespectful is who did it, right? We know it fucking was. It wasn't. It's Frank Castle.
It can't be.
Can't fucking be.
I don't believe it.
Because there's too many wannabes, as you saw by the cops having the tattoos and all that stuff. And literally, and first of all, one thing that's kind of funny, Matt told your ass you cannot go out there in that suit ever fucking again. And the next night, my man Hector, and I understand, he said, and I get the philosophy. He said, "This is who I am.
Yeah.
You can't take this away from me. This is my, this is my being as a person."
The Jewels chose me, nigga. I didn't choose the Jewels.
However, you just got off of a cop killing, first degree, second degree manslaughter. You just got off on all that shit. And the next day, or assumingly, the next day you go out, you don't think you want to lay low for a little bit? So that's why I was just like, damn,
man, the streets don't lay low.
You're right. The streets don't stop. The violence don't stop. The crime don't stop. And I understand you're going to do what he said on stand, the right thing. But you couldn't, give it 48 hours.
Do it 2 days later? Nah, bro.
So that, and again, not a fault of his. I just was just like, damn, could you have waited? And then again, for that person who shot him to then walk away and have the Punisher shit on. There's too many fucking cosplayers out there. I don't think that's Frank. What would Frank have with shooting him?
I mean, all right. My first thought was maybe it is because Frank is, a psychopath. And that's something that this show has shown, that Frank is touched, and the Punisher show showed as well. Touched. But like you said, they did have, evidence already that a lot of these cops are emulating the Punisher, want to be like this man, all that type of good stuff.
And I also felt it was too obvious. Punisher did that?
Yeah. And why would he do that, like you said? Because even though as much of a psychopath as he is, I can't see him running up and shooting Daredevil in the head like that. And that's pretty much the same thing.
Plus, where is Frank? What happened? I don't recall. I needed to go watch the end of the other series. Where did he end up at the end of all that?
I can't even lie, y'all. I did not finish the Punisher series. I didn't
finish it.
So I have no idea where the character is.
Is he still even active right now?
Well, I think Defenders took place after that. I'm not sure. And I mean, I don't even know if they want to consider that canon anymore. That shit got weird. No, seriously, the show was weird. I think
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it was weird. But Punisher was in that. So he's somewhere in New York City, as far as I know. I don't, I'm not sure, where his whereabouts are. I know he's going to be in Born Again. We already know that DeJohn is in this series. In fact, some news came out during I think last week, that John and writer of, I want to say this name of the show is We Own This City or We Run This City. It was an HBO Max series about police. I'm not sure what city it took place in. It was very dark. I watched the first episode and I was like, I'm good. I can't watch more than this. But the writer of that and John are writing a Punisher one-shot episode that's going to be kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special or the Werewolf by Night joint. So they're writing that and they're shooting that soon. So I'm not sure exactly what that'll deal with, but I think they said it played off of some of the stuff that we've seen in Daredevil Born Again, and the ideas came to them while they were doing Daredevil Born Again. So if this whole police and Punisher thing isn't dealt with by the end of this first season, I think that'll be something they'll definitely tackle. And I'm really happy to see that because
that's happening in real life.
as we know, it's happening in real life. And Marvel, as a comic book company, has been trying to figure out what to do with the Punisher for years because of this. I've talked about this on previous episodes. They've made him a ninja. They made him Frankenstein. They made him an angel. They've done everything.
Bruh.
They killed Frank Castle recently, as far as I know, and there's a new Punisher. They've done everything to distance themselves from the idea of just the Punisher who's out shooting criminals, because that's what cops do, criminals and, civilians more than most gangs. I think more than, like, I can't remember what the numbers are, but cops shoot way too many people. It's ridiculous.
Do you think this is going to give Matt a bad reputation? Like, he'll come and defend you, but your ass might be killed.
Nah, I don't know. Nobody's making that connect. Well, I mean, no, they did reveal that. Yeah. I don't think most of Matt's cases are like this, so I don't think he has
this
to
was like
deal with
an
that.
exception, right?
Yeah, Matt deals with high end shit. His shit is a little more,
because he did
money.
take this like pro bono. He was just like, he just saw a guy in need, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna jump in there. True.
Because remember, his old law firm, rest in peace, Foggy. That's what they were. They were broke. This new law firm, no, not so much. Shorty ain't rolling like that.
I am interested to see how Matt like continues to play this game that like he doesn't want to go and beat everybody's ass every night. It's clear. It's like when he saw, like when he was in the bathroom, like going through it mentally, and Officer Powell walked in.
Officer O'Malley.
Officer, right. When that nigga walked in and you talk, and like, he walked up there, he stepped to him. I said, slap him. I was like, slap the shit out of him. Like, bang his head into the fucking sink. And yes, that's violent, but I'm like, that's clearly what he wants. And I know he's holding back so much. And it's just like, at what point is that shit gonna boil over? Like,
now we saw Powell this episode, but we did not see his mans, right?
No, we didn't see his mans, and that's why I was like, damn, did his mans die?
No, his mans didn't die, but his mans just, having a hard time recovering right now.
Because Powell wouldn't have been that lenient or that regular. No. He would have tried to kill Matt right away. Yeah,
definitely.
Right.
No. So
how did both of them survive? They got folded so bad.
Look, tough old Irish cops, man. You know how it is. Like them bastards, probably was drunk at the moment, hopped up on PCP, who knows what else.
Anything else? What else did I like how they did that shell game with the witness Nikki Torres, where like Cherry, they had when they took him and Cherry like drove him away. I was like, all right, that was smart. That was very smart move.
Very smooth.
I thought that.
Oh, is that the? No, that's not the same actor. I'm trying to remember where I know the Asian actor who is he the lawyer? I'm not sure what he is.
Well, the one that we saw in this episode, the one that was that took Nikki through the cab.
Is he a cop or is he?
I thought he was a lawyer. Well, only because he had a suit on.
Yeah, he's a lawyer. He's part of the firm. Okay.
Yeah, I thought he was one of the lawyers.
I was trying to remember where I know the actor from. If anybody in the comments out there does know, let me know in the comments. Anything else from this episode?
No, I mean, just from a real life perspective, again, rest in peace to Kamar De Los Reyes.
Yeah.
He did a phenomenal, as you mentioned, he did a phenomenal job and a very heartfelt job with a character I've personally never seen, never heard of before. And for me to connect with him very quickly and realize like he is like deeply one of the good ones, at least that, that character, he stands for something, and that's hard to come by in the universe, the MCU as it is. So, rest in power to him, and he did a beautiful job.
Yeah, and rest in power to the White Tiger as well, to Hector Ayala, the character, because that sucks. Like for me, I was a big fan. I was very hyped to see him in this series. I was like, oh yeah, finally we get the White Tiger in MCU. I mean, not finally. That's one of the characters I just didn't expect to ever see in the MCU, honestly. Actually at this point, I can't say that. I expect to see every character in MCU because they're just trying to make this money and they're going to milk it forever and get every character they can. So I was happy to see him in the MCU, and then he gets murked. But the silver lining of that is that there's a precedence for this, is that Hector is not always the White Tiger. Eventually, in the comics and in animation and other forms, his niece, Ava, takes over. And, she's already been there. So hopefully we will see that in the future. Perhaps, the Young Avengers, Young Defenders. I don't know, however they want to do it. But that'd be nice to see because I want to see the White Tiger continue on, and I really like the character and what they represent. So hopefully more White Tiger in the future.
Definitely.
Anything else before we get out of here?
Nah, man, just fantastic TV. Great TV. We fucking told y'all the streets is back. They are doing the damn thing when it comes to Daredevil Born Again. I know y'all with it. I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy. I'm just pleased and happy right now.
Word. I want to give a big shout out to Pedro Gomez Milian, the cinematographer of Daredevil Born Again. And they're doing a fantastic job. Even before I knew their name, this episode especially, like I said, that courtroom shit had me on the edge of my seat. I was sitting there, and it was a lot had to do with the acting, everything, but also just the cinematography and the shot selection, the handheld camera. They were like moving in close on actors' faces, a lot of shaky cam, but I mean, not overt shaky cam, just where it's like the, a little bit where you just feel the tension through the camera shots and everything. So great work there, Pedro. We might have them on the show hopefully very soon. So look out for that. Also, big shout outs to the whole Patreon fam out there, everybody.
Yes.
I know you've seen your names shining at the end of every episode. So if you'd like to join, the few, the proud, the millions
and millions,
head over to patreon.com/ForAllNerds, and any tier, it doesn't matter. Any tier will help the mission, and you'll see your name in shining lights at the end of every episode. Thank you very much for that.
You woke up a repressed WWE memory for me. Thank you.
I know, man. Come on, man. Bring it back. You saw your man Cena went heel after 20 years. Yeah, you didn't hear?
Oh, God. You know how many times this has happened, though?
No. This is the first time Cena went heel on 20 years.
No, and this is not the first time.
He's been babyface straight up.
Except for when you know what? I'm just thinking about the time when people didn't like him. That didn't.
Yeah, that's before.
Sorry.
That's before this. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
he started off
fuck
a villain
with him, but he wasn't.
He started off a villain. Nobody fucked with him, and then he blew up, and he's been 20 years a hero, and now my man flip you. So it's interesting. We'll see
ratings.
Where it goes. Yeah, I mean ratings, money, and it's also big shots to Cena. He's retiring. For the first time for the WWE.
For the 40th time.
I think this might be the big one because they're doing the whole retirement tour until 5 years from now when he needs some more dough, and Vince needs it. So
the man is an actor.
Anyway,
he's not a wrestler no more. But okay.
Speaking of dough and supporting, other ways you can support the fam, the mission right here is by going to ForAllNerds.com and copying yourself one of these beautiful designs, like this beautiful one right here. Sith Happens that I'm rocking. Tatiana King is rocking the Xavier's 1997 stool for gifted youngsters. You know what that is. You already know what we repping over here. It's ForAllNerds.com. Nothing but fire hits over there. Beautiful designs. Get yourself one. Join the fam. Anything else we need to do before we out of here?
Just as Benhameen said, please, we appreciate everything you do to support us. Please follow us. Follow DJ Benhameen and myself, Tatiana King, as well as For All Nerds everywhere, all over the interwebs. Make sure you're subscribed to us. We are on every platform, including, especially now, Blue Skies, because we don't go to that other place anymore. So please make sure you are there. And ForAllNerds.com. And, go to the merch page on ForAllNerds.com and sign up. You'll get some access to some secret stuff. But I ain't tell you this, so yeah.
Also, happy birthday to me and all the Pisces out there. It's Pisces season. We out here. Thank you very much. God bless you. Good night.
Hey, what's up, internets and the fam? This is Tatiana King for All Nerds, and I want to thank you so much for listening and watching to All Nerds. Make sure you like and subscribe to us only on YouTube.
For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds.